It's great because we were just talking beforehand. I'm about to produce something in November, and there's a lot of bits I don't know. So having someone like you who can work through all the little ins and outs is definitely a help. Now, how did you move into helping small business owners network and build relationships and learn that? Because, as you said, a lot of business owners go out there and expect too much too soon. How did you think, okay, I'm going to move this and start teaching entrepreneurs and small business owners?
Well, when you're dealing with raising money, it's in essence just sales. Right? So what you have to do is you have to really think about how is this going to benefit the other person?
Yeah.
How am I going to present the information of what it is that I have in such a way that the other person sees a better future for themselves or is just sort of excited about the opportunity? And how am I not going to scare them away within that sort of initial interaction? So what I noticed was that this element of taking the time to sort of understand what other people need, really breaking it down, and then presenting it to them and working towards figuring out ways to thread people together and connect people that was helping me in the theater world was something that could very, very easily communicate within the business world. Because in the business world, especially in the early stages, most of the people who are starting out have what I like to refer to as asking blinders.
What does that mean?
So asking blinders means that they are so obsessed with the things that they want that it's like they have blinders on like a horse, right? So they don't actually pay attention to the person across from them. They don't ask them about what they need. They don't ask them about what they're doing or what's going to make them more successful. They spend most of their time basically selling the products and features of whatever it is that they have.
The features, yeah.
And they don't necessarily know whether or not that's something that the other person is actually interested in, right?
Yeah.
So in that initial interaction, taking the time to really figure out, well, what are the pain points that this person's experiencing? And then, and this is really important, checking for genuine inquiry. So if you ask somebody if they're actually interested in the service that you have to provide, however they respond tells you whether or not you need to go into any sort of discussion of your service. So a lot of the time what I would do is I would say, why don't you just say, I'd be happy to tell you a little bit more about this if you're interested. The next response, if the person's like, oh, well, yeah, sure. Or if the person was like, oh my God, yes, tell me more, told me exactly how much further I had to go into an explanation of whatever the service is. The other thing I think that happens a lot, especially for small business owners, is that there's this belief that everybody needs their service. And there are a lot of people who it's actually not a fit for. And they have different problems. They have different concerns. And if you're constantly sort of going at it from the standpoint of, oh, well, everybody needs this, then whoever you're talking to is going to eventually get really, really annoyed because you're not listening to them, you're not listening to their problems or their concerns.
Yeah.
So in the same way that I would be taking the time to understand what an investor needed and what an investor was looking for or looking to gain out of the experience of being involved with Broadway, is the exact same conversation that you're having when you're sitting down with somebody as a potential client and you're trying to figure out what is the problem or the challenge and does my solution actually make sense for them or does it make more sense to actually send them to somebody who's going to serve them better?
That's a really, really good point. And I'm guessing because in the beginning you're kind of desperate. You want to get this puppy off the ground. And so I would think sometimes it's a good idea to have that other source of income or several sources of income so that whatever new project you're starting, a new business, you're not putting all your eggs in that basket hoping to pay rent and bills and then you must buy my product because not only is it the best, but heck, I have bills to pay in about another 15 days.
Yeah, I like to say that revenue streams are like lives in a video game. If you only have one, you're probably not going to get very far.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a really important idea for small business owners, especially when they're first getting started, come up with 2 or 3 potential revenue streams.
Yeah.
Try different things out because you never know which of these things is actually going to hit with your audience. So if you're just constantly like, oh, well, this one package or this one program is the thing that's going to make it work, and I'm just going to go out there and sell to, my 100 people or whatever, it may not work out for you.
Yeah, and another thing you mentioned, a lot of what you have to offer, it might be valuable, but not to the people you're speaking to, or it might not fit their value system, what they find important. It might be something that could serve their business, but it's not important to them.
Yeah.
At least right now, perhaps.
Exactly. And that's where you have to have that understanding of what is a nice to have and what's a need to have for people. Because if it's a nice to have, chances are they're probably not going to purchase it.
Yeah.
If it's a need to have, they're likely going to, at the very least, consider purchasing it, or purchasing from somebody who is doing it at a better level.
Yeah.